Egypt gave us pyramids, statues, obelisks, but the real mystery? It doesn't tower over the desert. It sits quietly in your hands, mistaken as pottery. Thousands of stone vases carved with a precision that makes machinists stare like they've seen a ghost. Walls thinner than a credit card, curves smoother than a lathe pass. Geometric symmetry so perfect it feels CNC approved. Except these things predate the wheel, the pyramid, and the modern idea of high engineering. These vases were made before the 4th Dynasty, before ramps, before quarries scaled for ambition, before Egypt supposedly had anything sharper than copper, stone, and a workforce with strong backs. Now consider the materials: granite, diorite, basalt. Rocks modern crews blast apart with dynamite, not carve into perfume bottles. But someone, thousands of years ago, shaped them anyway. Flared necks, paper-thin walls, curves with tolerances better than your car's engine block. And the handles? Here's where the plot turns noir. You can turn a vase on a lathe, but you can't carve handles on one either. The moment you cut sideways, the machine taps out. And yet, Egypt did it anyway. Mainstream says copper drills, wooden spindles, abrasive sand, and more patience than the internet has ever seen. Basically, the world's longest arts and crafts session. Mess up once, start over. Mess up twice, fire your apprentice. But these pieces don't read like trial and error. They read like output, consistent, deliberate, repeatable. These aren't vases, they're evidence. Fingerprints of a workshop that knew something we don't, and then disappeared so cleanly, history can't close the case. Anyone can fail without good tools. What's impossible is succeeding repeatedly with bad ones, because these finished vases aren't just good, they're surgical, they're balanced to the millimeter. They're so symmetrical that engineers accuse them of cheating. Credit card thin walls, dead center geometry, laser level curves, carved by a civilization that supposedly didn't have the wheel. And those handles, curved, carved, and hollowed into the side. Puzzling to say the least. Let me put it this way, if copper chisels made these, then I'll sculpt you a titanium swan with a butter knife. Because here's the real contradiction. The more you study these artifacts, the less they look handmade, and the more they look manufactured. A technique, or technology, that vanished like a wanted perp. Blueprints carved into granite. Fingerprints of a skill set we still don't fully understand. Egypt had left us with tons of mystical amazement, and these vases didn't follow the timeline followed them. But they are not the only cold cases worth examining. Let's take a look through Egypt's evidence locker. Every investigation has that one witness, the one who ruins the alibi. Meet Petri's core number 7, a humble chunk of granite drilled at Giza. Except its grooves spiral downward like threaded steel, a cut so aggressive, modern engineers debate the feed rate like it's a courtroom deposition. Copper tools don't leave marks like this, but core number 7 doesn't care what copper can't do. It's a confession carved into stone. And that's just the first file in the evidence drawer. Imagine finding Egypt's engineering notes on a 4,000-year-old cheat sheet. It's called the Moscow Math Papyrus. 25 solved problems, including the formula for a truncated pyramids volume. Ancient math, ancient precision, ancient engineering. In writing, there's just one problem. No one knows where it was found. It came from the antiquities market, a polite way of saying archaeological Craigslist. Without carbon dating, we can't confirm the period. It's math without a timeline, which is like evidence without an alibi. But the strongest clue isn't stone or papyrus. It's the mindset behind the work. Egypt didn't chase perfection for decoration. They carved with an accuracy that implies standards, the kind you only bother enforcing when the method matters more than the object. And once you look at the vases through that lens, they start looking like evidence. Fingerprints left by a technique we no longer recognize, from a workshop tradition that didn't record itself. These artifacts aren't signs that the ancients were behind us. If anything, they're reminders that we're the ones still catching up.